Welcome back, my beautiful alphas. The wolves in suits didn't see you coming. They thought they had you caged, chained, broken. Thought you were just another pawn in their twisted little game. But they were wrong. They didn't know you were watching, learning, calculating, smiling through the pain like a beast sharpening its fangs behind the silence. And now, you flipped the game on them. They're out of moves. You are the storm they tried to avoid. And now, the whole board is fire. Let me tell you something that soft hearts and trembling souls won't admit. This world was never designed for the kind of power you carry. It was built to suffocate you, to bury you under mediocrity and masks, to tame the fire in your eyes until you forgot you had it. But you didn't forget. You refused to. You stared into the void, into the lies, into the eyes of those who whispered behind your back, and you saw it clear as daylight. Weak men build cages for strong ones and call them rules, but you were never made to follow. You were made to rewrite the script. They gave you scraps and expected gratitude. You gave them silence and built empires in the dark. You kept receipts. You remembered every fake smile, every time they counted you out. And now, those same voices echo with panic, scrambling for relevance, because the one they ignored became the one they can't stop. The truth? You didn't just win. You destroyed the blueprint they live by. You flipped the damn table. Their strategies crumble like sand because their chessboard wasn't built for your kind of war. You were made for chaos, and not the kind that tears down for no reason. You are the chaos that cleanses, that resets, that reclaims. You are the reckoning. And now they feel it in their bones, those small minds in big chairs, those hollow kings who never bled for a crown. They feel the silence before the roar. They feel the tension in the air, like the world itself is about to shift. And you are the shift. They wanted you to bend, to break, to beg. But you broke the cycle instead. You played dumb while planning dominance. You made failure your fuel. They called you unstable, but you were just unpredictable. You were never out of control. You were out of patience. There's a difference. And now that you're in the driver's seat, the roads they paved become irrelevant. Because you don't take paths, you make them. You don't ask for permission. You rip through the walls they told you were sacred. You don't knock. You kick the damn door off the hinges. Understand this? You are not them. You never were. You're not here to fit in. You're here to rise so violently that gravity starts to doubt itself. You're here to wear scars like medals and pain like armor. You're not soft. You're not safe. And that's exactly why they fear you. You've become the embodiment of what they pretend to be, a threat in the flesh, power with a pulse. And now they watch. Oh, they watch. Silently, bitterly, obsessively. Because your rise didn't just expose their limits, it humiliated their illusions. You proved what they feared all along, that they were never powerful, just protected. And that protection? Gone. Because you're not playing their game anymore. You are the game. You made them irrelevant in real time, turned their trophies into trash, their secrets into stepping stones, and they can't handle that kind of truth. Because truth burns, and you've become the flame. You don't owe them silence. You don't owe them humility. This is not the time to bow. This is the time to build, to conquer, to take everything they said you couldn't have and turn it into your empire. Because alphas don't negotiate with fear. They hunt it. You don't dim your light for cowards hiding in the shadows. You rise until their shadows vanish, until their whispers become echoes of defeat. Let them talk. Let them lie. Let them cling to whatever fiction helps them sleep. Because while they sleep, you build. While they mock, you move. While they plot, you dominate. That's the difference. That's the edge. They want comfort. You want legacy. They want likes. You want legend. They want validation. You want vengeance. And that vengeance doesn't come through violence. It comes through elevation. Through the audacity to outlast, outperform, and outshine every single one of them until their names sound like footnotes and yours becomes a war cry. And don't you dare apologize for that. Don't you dare water yourself down for people who drown in shallow waters. You're not too much. They're too small. And that's not arrogance. It's awareness. You're not angry. You're awakened. And awakened minds terrify the powerless. Because the moment you realize you were never the victim, never the pawn, never the weak one, it's game over. For all of them. You flipped the script and lit the pages on fire. You turned your setbacks into slingshots. You got up when you were supposed to stay down. You chose war when comfort begged you to sleep. And now, the battlefield is yours. Your footsteps echo like war drums. Your silence screams louder than their noise ever could. And the throne? It doesn't ask who's next. It asks who's left. So keep going. Keep pushing. Keep tearing through the noise like a blade through silk. Because you've only just started. And if they thought the version of you that was healing was dangerous, they're not ready for the version that's hungry, that's healed, that's here. Because this world bends for no one, except the unbreakable. And you, my beautiful alphas, you're unbreakable. You've seen their fear in the eyes of those who tried to break you, the ones who looked at you like you were a ghost, the ones who thought they could control you with money, with influence, with all their toys and distractions. They never understood one simple truth. You can never control a force that doesn't crave comfort. And comfort, that's what they thrive on. That's what their fragile world revolves around. They hide behind luxuries and lies, believing they can build a kingdom on the shallow ground of safety. But you were born in the trenches. You grew from pain. You learned to fight not for victory, but for survival. And in that survival, you found something they will never understand, the power of your own hunger. You are not driven by need, you are driven by desire. You desire something they will never have. You desire to dominate, to rise, to leave an imprint so deep that it leaves no room for doubt that you were here, that you were unstoppable, that you were unbreakable. Every challenge they throw at you is fuel. Every attempt to bring you down is just another brick in the foundation of your ascent. The harder they push, the higher you rise. They don't see it. They never will, because they only know one way: safety. They don't know how to fight for something greater than themselves, something bigger than the moment. But you're not just fighting for survival. You're fighting for greatness. You fight to rewrite the rules, to change the game. And there's nothing more dangerous than someone with that kind of clarity. There's a reason why they whisper about you behind closed doors. They fear you. They fear the strength you carry, the vision you embody, the relentless pursuit of power that they can't stop. But here's the secret they'll never admit to anyone. They fear you because they know you're the one they've been waiting for, the one who would never back down, the one who would turn their game upside down and leave them choking on their own lies. You've set the stage, you've called the shots. Now, they're scrambling to figure out where they fit in a world that doesn't need them anymore. They always thought they could bend you to their will, that they could control the variables, that they could make you play by their rules. But they forgot one thing: people like you don't need permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You are the force that drives everything forward, the storm that shakes their fragile ground, the shadow that grows longer the more they try to hide in the light. And when you made your move, they weren't ready. They never are. You studied the system, You read the signs. You watch them play their little game with no idea that you were already 3 steps ahead. They didn't know you were preparing for this. They didn't know you had already flipped the board on them. And now it's their turn to play catch-up. Now they're scrambling to rebuild the power they once held over you, but it's too late. The game is yours now. You've taken it. And they're out of moves. They thought they could trap you with their rules, with their expectations, with their networking and connections. They thought they could manipulate you with their promises and their fake smiles. But you saw through it all. You were never here to be part of their system. You were here to break it. And break it, you did. One calculated step at a time, you tore through their comfort zones like a beast set free from its cage. You didn't just disrupt their system, you obliterated it. You flipped the script and turned the tables on them in a way they'll never recover from. Now they're scrambling, desperate, trying to figure out how to counter a move they never saw coming. But here's the thing, they can't. You've taken away their power. You've erased their advantage. They're playing a game that doesn't make sense anymore. Their strategies are irrelevant because they didn't prepare for someone who wouldn't bend to the system, someone who would rewrite the rules as they went, someone who would rise through the wreckage of their failed tactics and become an unstoppable force in their own right. And that's why they fear you. They're not scared of your strength. They're scared of your mind. They're scared of your willpower, your vision, and your ability to create a future where they don't exist. You don't just destroy. You building. You don't just win. You transform. You don't just take control. You become the storm that shapes everything in your path. And there's no stopping you now. You've unlocked the power they never knew you had. You've proven to yourself that you don't need them, that you never needed them. The truth is they're terrified because they know that now you have nothing to lose. And when a person like you has nothing to lose, there's no telling what they can achieve. You've stripped yourself of all their limitations. You've shed the skin of doubt and fear, and now you stand before the world as the untouchable force you were always meant to be. They'll keep trying to pull you down. They'll keep trying to force you into their box. They'll keep trying to convince you that you're too much, too loud, too bold, too dangerous. But that's because they're scared. They're scared of a mind like yours, a mind that doesn't need them, a mind that doesn't need anyone. They've watched you transform from a so-called outsider into the very person they thought they had under control, and they can't handle it. They can't handle the idea that you've become everything they never were, everything they'll never be. But here's the truth. They don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. Their attempts to manipulate you don't matter. Because in the end, it's you who holds the cards. It's you who holds the power. It's you who dictates the future. You've already made your move. Now it's their turn to react. And no matter how they try to fight back, no matter how they try to claw their way back to the top, they'll always be one step behind. Because you've already flipped the game, and they're out of moves. You've set the standard, you've set the pace, and now you watch as they scramble to catch up with a game they'll never understand. And when they fail, when they inevitably fall short, you'll be there, standing tall, watching as they crash and burn. Because you've already won. You've already claimed victory in a war that was never about them in the first place. It was always about you, about proving that you were never weak. You were never the victim. You were always the victor. You were always the one who had the power. So keep moving forward. Keep rising. Keep burning through the walls they've built around their fragile world. They can't touch you anymore. They can't stop you. They can't even play in the same league as you. Because you've broken free. You've shattered the illusion. And now They have no choice but to watch as you ascend to heights they can never reach. Because you, my beautiful alphas, are unstoppable. And the world, it belongs to you. You were never meant to fit in their world. That world, made of rules and constraints, of expectations and illusions, was built by the weak for the weak. It was never your world. You are a force that can't be bound by their laws, a weapon that cannot be sheathed. They made the mistake of thinking you were one of them, but you were never one of them. You were always different. And that difference, that's what's breaking them. They thought you were just another face in the crowd. They thought you were just another player in their game. They didn't see the hunger in your eyes, the fire in your chest, the blood in your veins that burns with a desire so raw and untamed it scares them to their core. They never saw you coming, and now they're paying the price for their ignorance. While they were busy patting themselves on the back, building their petty kingdoms, you were out there in the dark. You were learning, growing, calculating, and waiting for the right moment. And when that moment came, you struck. You flipped the entire game upside down. You changed the narrative. You took the control from their hands and made them realize, too late, that they were never in charge. And now they're scrambling to figure out how to deal with you. But it's too late. The truth is out there now. The truth that you are a force unlike any they've ever seen. You are the storm they never prepared for. You are the earthquake that is shaking the very foundations of everything they've built. And no matter how hard they try, they'll never be able to stop you. You've taken the power. You've taken the crown. And you know what? They can scream. They can beg. They can throw tantrums. They can do whatever they want, but it won't matter. You've already won. You've already claimed what is rightfully yours. They don't have the strength to stop you. They don't have the ability to outmaneuver you. They don't even have the willpower to keep up with you. You are on a different level, operating on a plane they can't even comprehend. They wanted you to be small. They wanted you to be afraid. They wanted you to sit back and accept their lies, their control, their expectations. But you didn't do that. You saw the world for what it truly was. A stage for those bold enough to take the spotlight. You saw that the game was rigged, and you knew that if you wanted to survive, you had to flip it on its head. And you did. You flipped it in ways they never saw coming. You rewrote the rules. You showed them that power doesn't come from what they have. It comes from what they can create. You took their advantages and turned them into your stepping stones. Every move they made to try and hold you down only made you stronger, sharper, more dangerous. And they have no idea what to do now. They're out of moves. They have nowhere to turn. And you're just getting started. When you flipped the game on them, you didn't just take their power. You took their certainty. You took their belief that they were untouchable. You made them realize that the so-called rules they live by were nothing but chains designed to keep them trapped in a world of mediocrity. You broke free from that world, and now they can't figure out how to deal with someone like you, someone who refuses to play by their rules, someone who doesn't give a damn about their definitions of success. And that, my friend, is exactly why they fear you. It's not your strength that scares them. It's your mind. Your ability to see the game for what it is and outplay them at every turn. They can't stop you because they don't know how to stop someone who has already realized their true power. They're too busy living in a world that no longer exists, clinging to their crumbling walls, while you've already moved on. You've already left them behind. You know what you're capable of, and that's why you're unstoppable. You've tapped into a wellspring of power they didn't even know existed. You've become something they can't even begin to comprehend. They're still stuck in their old, outdated ways of thinking, while you're evolving, adapting, and thriving in ways they never could. And that's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you unstoppable. Because you don't just play the game, you change the game. And let's not forget one thing. While they were busy underestimating you, you were out there doing the work. While they were content with their lives of comfort and luxury, you were out there grinding, sacrificing, learning, building. You knew what it took to succeed. You knew what it took to rise above. And now, all that hard work, all that sacrifice, all that pain, it's paying off. And it's paying off in ways they'll never understand. They spent their entire lives chasing validation, chasing power, chasing status. But none of it means anything if you're not willing to work for it. None of it means anything if you're not willing to fight for it. And you've been fighting for this moment since the day you were born. You've been fighting for this moment since the day you decided that you would no longer be a pawn in someone else's game. Now, you are the one making the moves. Now, you are the one setting the pace. And they're scrambling to keep up, trying to figure out where they went wrong, trying to figure out how to stop you. But they can't, because you've already taken what was rightfully yours. You've already shown them what real power looks like, and now they can't do a damn thing about it. The truth is, you were never meant to be like them. You were never meant to live in their world of false pretenses and empty promises. You were meant for something greater. You were meant to leave a legacy that will echo through the ages. And now, you're doing just that. You've carved your path through the chaos, through the noise, through the lies, and now you stand at the top, looking down on the very people who once tried to break you. And here's the real kicker. They'll never know what hit them, because while they were busy counting their victories, you were plotting your rise. While they were sitting back and enjoying their fleeting moments of glory, you were building an empire that will outlast them all. They didn't see it coming. They didn't understand that you weren't just playing for the short game. You were playing for the long game. And now you've won. The game is yours. The world is yours. And there's nothing they can do to take it from you. You are the future. You are the revolution. And no one, no matter how hard they try, will ever take that from you. You've already flipped the game. You've already set the stage for your domination. And now, it's time to rise higher than they could ever dream. It's time to claim what's rightfully yours. Because you, my beautiful alphas, are not just playing the game. You've become the game. And no one will ever be able to stop you. In the end, they never stood a chance. You've proven that the game was never theirs to control. It was always yours. You were never meant to be confined, never meant to be one of them. You've shattered their illusions, taken what's yours, and left them with nothing but the ashes of their own defeat. You've become a force that can't be stopped, a legacy that can't be erased. The world? It's yours to conquer. And now, as you rise, there's nothing left for them to do but watch. Keep moving forward, keep dominating, and remember, they are out of moves. You are the game.